Very soon, which is tomorrow. No, actually today. Technically today. It's very early in terms of today, but it is today. I will be going to a special place to extend the fact that I am disabled or invalid. I don't know, man. There should be a better word for that, but technically how I'm treated by the government, I am disabled, right? I have to drink medicine every single day, and I have to go to a doctor every single month. Visit a doctor every single month. And then every 2 weeks I have to visit a social worker at the hospital. That's kind of the basic setup, and I obviously hate it. I hate everything about it. I hate that medication is somehow treated as a necessity for me. As like I'm healing my mental illness somehow, some fucking magical ways with pills and shit, which technically don't do anything. But there were something more, something way worse that was happening to me when I was taking medication. Uh, not in terms of pills, but in terms of injections. Yeah, they made my health so much worse. This was while I was in the hospital, and because my health was getting worse, because I started to kind of lose control of my body. My eyes would turn up. I would get into this very uncomfortable state. The translator says it turns his eyes. I couldn't really control my eyes. It was just such a weird feeling. So weird. You couldn't really sleep. You couldn't really rest. Your eyes would turn up. It's just weird, right? And I tried to explain it to the doctor, and the doctor listened and took away the injections. So I barely escaped, right? I barely escaped the hospital without this deadly injection to me. To me, that just seems deadly. If it makes my health worse, it it completely changes my life. But now that the injections are gone, my health came back to normal again. It happened, so I came back home right after the hospital, after 1 year and 1 month of a hospital experience. I came back, and I still had these weird things happen to me. My eyes would turn up, and I would feel it's almost like anxiety or something. It's just a weird feeling. It's almost like some weird thoughts started to come to my mind, like, hey, kill your mom for whatever reason, just because it's a person and killing is the worst thing you can do. You should probably kill your mom. You probably hate her so much, which is all false, and I was able to control these thoughts to not get into my head too far, but it was crazy. It would run me insane. And most importantly, you can't run away from thoughts. That's the worst thing. So in a way, that's kind of interesting because it did make things worse. I did not hear anything, but I did imagine that people were telling me from deep down, deep inside, to just do something evil. And that's the most evil thing you can come up with, is just kill your mom. Kill the thing that I love the most. The thing that gave me so much and is giving me still everything. Everything I need to survive in this life. For me, this this is everything, right? Everyone might be either successful or unsuccessful, but for me, I get to live life and not worry about too much of anything. I can say medication is bullshit, but at the same time, they pay me to kind of say this stuff, to be honest. Not directly, obviously, they wouldn't do it directly, but they just kind of made it happen, right? They gave me this stupid experience that they basically are failing so miserably in terms of what they're doing. So, and there's no way to cover it up. People just are unable to defend from this kind of behavior that this industry of medicine just happens to. I will explain more, right? But we are unable to defend ourselves because when the system screws us over, it's just kind of, that's it. That's the end of the story. The system can do whatever it wants. The first thing I have to say is that never have I ever thought that a human being needs medication. And knowing that there are side effects that are terrible, just terrible side effects, what are you trying to combat, basically? You're trying to beat my mental illness, which may not even be there. You know, doctors can make shit up as they go. They can do whatever the fuck they want. The system allows doctors to be the greatest bullies of all time. If you do or say something wrong, they can use it against you very easily and keep you in this, well, they serve the system, right? So they want me, even though I don't have the mental capacity, apparently, to be healthy. I still have the mental capacity to work for the system, to earn a good living, and, you know, live a good life, which is very nice for them to think about it that way. But if I say fuck the system, there's no going back. I can't find a job that easily, and nor do I want to. Now that the system itself again pays me, which has to be noted, right? And again, this payment is gonna be extended today. Right? I'm gonna visit a commission or something. Yes, that's commission. Committee sounds a little better. But I'll say commission just because that's how it translates. Commission of doctors, right? People who are think they're so fucking smart, but I don't think they're smart. I think it's the same idea as with flat earth. You look, the earth is flat. You feel it's not spinning. What the fucking bullshit did people just made up and decided that we live on a round earth, on a ball, on a spinning ball, which is ridiculous. How could you make that shit up, right? And even if we do live on a spinning ball, that still doesn't make it not flat. It is as flat as it gets. To a human being, Earth is a flat experience. Okay? You cannot run away from that. You do not experience any curvature whatsoever. There's never a reason to, calculate curvature in any way. Unless you're really actually trying to figure out where that curvature is. We couldn't fucking detect it as flat earthers. We tried really hard, okay, but we can't fucking find it, no matter how high we go. And yeah, the conspiracy theory realm is all there. You know, alongside going with Flat Earth, we have the medication, which is what the whole video is going to be about, right? I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but I definitely going to have a good night's sleep. Probably 3 hours of sleep. Probably. Because again, I have to get to this commission thingy to extend the amount of time the system will pay me. I don't know what I have to do. I'm just going to be me, and they will just pretend that I'm sick somehow. Just one thing happened, alright? Just one time in my life I heard voices from unknown source, and that source was outside, not inside my brain or anything. It was outside, speaking to me. Voice of many people. And at the same time, it was my own voice. My own thoughts were the voice projected to me. That was a crazy experience, and that happened once. And somehow, I am mentally ill for that thing, but also not really, right? Because I was pretty weird when police caught me when I locked my mom outside of her home, and police caught me, right? I led them in pretty much through other means than directly from the actual door, which was locked, right? I locked my mom out, but the police found another way in, and through balcony basically, and they got me. They put me in handcuffs, and they thought I was mentally ill because of how I talked to them. And then I said to the first doctor-ish figure that I heard voices one time, and that was pretty much enough. And the way the doctor talked to me when I was hospitalized, that this was enough, right? That this was enough to tell forever that I'm sick forever, basically. That yes, this might not happen ever again, but we must prevent it from ever happening again, because, well, you know, I don't know. I don't get it. Alright? To me, what happened when I heard the voices was impossible. And so we're trying to prevent that impossible thing. Somehow. Right? Oh, of course it's possible it was you all along. You were, I don't know what you were thinking, but it was your voices in your head. You know, everyone knows what that means. You are schizophrenic. Which means anything, basically. Schizophrenia means anything. You can have any kind of mental illness, and it's called schizophrenia, right? It just covers doctors' asses so badly, so well, right? If you just want to call someone sick, you just call them schizophrenic. That's it. Your job is done. It's ridiculously easy. Yeah, it just covers doctors' asses. The way Google says it, it's mental disorder in which people interpret it. Do you see that? Because you have to see it. Yeah, you do. Congratulations. Interpret reality abnormally. It's weird because the way they test you for this, they give you, you know, things that you can find in real life. They tell you to make them into categories, into piles, categorize things. Then they test your memory for some reason. They test your speed of calculating two numbers together. They test for very weird stuff. Alright? But the most effective, I think, test that they have is this yes or no test, where there are a bunch of statements and you have to either agree or disagree with them. Then they map out your personality or whatever. There were a lot of questions whether I like talking to people or not, and I definitely don't like that. I'm a very shy person, but I definitely don't like talking to people, because people will try and convince me that no, medication is actually very important or something. They will come up with some bullshit. They haven't gotten themselves a medication of any kind. They gotten away with it because the system will make you very guilty the moment you're caught in system's hands. There's no escape, right? You're very guilty. And one thing that, instead of me being guilty, I'm just sick, right? I'm just schizophrenic and I treat reality abnormally. Oh my god. Yeah, dude. Now, the psych ward was a survivable experience in terms that I get my food, I get my sleep, I get my necessities, then I have a few friends I can talk to, whether I want or not. Most of the time I don't want to talk to anyone, I'm shy, I have nothing to talk about, or I just don't want my views to actually have a conflict with their views. But yeah, even with that in mind, while I was hiding my point of view, which I don't like to hide my point of view here, I don't know why. I'm so outrageously not shy. Well, I get to actually speak my mind and be interpreted properly. I get to do all of this stuff. And I experienced it, right? So, you don't have to. No, it's just, yeah, you have to appear normal. That's the only way you can actually survive the system. Don't say anything abnormal about reality. That's the way you're not going to be labeled as schizophrenic, right? But it's easier said than done. When I trusted the system, when I said I heard the voices one time, and the system acted out so badly, right, that pushing an old woman through the door, she didn't want to go through the door and get the fuck out of the home, so she put enough resistance to make it hurt herself, basically, in the end. Did not agree with me. I definitely did the wrong thing for pushing an old woman. Don't get me wrong. Is the thing that caught me off guard and put me into this psych ward. I shouldn't have been doing that, right? Clearly, that was a stupid idea. But to put me in a psych ward for an entire year, and that's how they run things. 1 year is the minimum sentence, basically, for a schizophrenic person to be out there in the wild with other people. That's too much to handle, okay? We have to put this guy in control, basically. And this is where medication comes in, right? It's a part of a control mechanic. It's not supposed to do anything, it's just supposed to control you, right? As long as it works. But medication was not effective whatsoever to me. Maybe I feel that I don't want to engage with people anymore, but that's just me after this whole experience of just such an annoying experience as a whole. 1 year taken away from you, ripped away. So unfair. I still have no idea what the medication is supposed to do. And some of the medication was there to counter the bad effects, the side effects that I got from injections, but now the side effects are gone and I'm still taking the same medication. I have to ask my doctor to fucking let me off the hook on that one as well, right? Because that makes no sense. I'll check with my doctor if that's possible, if I'm gonna be actually off the hook, and I will only eat medication, one medication, and it's called olanzapine, something that everyone takes basically, is the most basic medicine I think there is. It doesn't do anything. I don't think there are any effects on me as a human being. It just kind of makes everything just pointless. If there's no effect that I can experience, what is the point, right? What is it trying to do? Is it trying to change the way I think? What? Now, obviously, this is like the most conspiracy theorist way of doing things. Is saying that, oh yeah, it's meant to control you, but you must understand the system kind of hates you, and it wants to negate all the bad things about you, right? The bad thing about you is that you live and breathe and you're different than other people, right? You dare to be different than other people for some reason. You dare to look at reality a different way, have a different perspective. It's all wrong because you did something wrong, basically. Pushed an old woman, that's not good, alright? So with all that wrong in the way, you did something weird. You have to control yourself. So it's easy to convince you that you need to control yourself more, and that medication is the way to do it, right? That medication is one of those crazy ways to control you, right? It's a crazy way because it doesn't work right now, but if the system had a way to control you, the system would do it, right? So this is as close as it gets. Everyone wants to be a doctor. It's the most disgusting thing that I can think of ever. Everyone wants to be a doctor. Every Asian wants to be a doctor. Doctors don't necessarily save lives. They make things worse. They make normal life worse. It's just like, yes, there are a bunch of scientists that can tell you the Earth is definitely round, but why would they do that? Why would they tell you that the Earth is round when we have such a flat experience? Well, because space and stuff, right? We have to care about that. We can't have to care about Mars, right? Ever gonna get to Mars? Can we get to the moon first? Again? After many years, we couldn't get to the moon yet. But I hate bringing flat Earth into the mix, even though it just kind of brings you a perspective that it's so stupid, that the system is ridiculously stupid. It can do great things as long as we agree on on basic terms, right? That the Earth it is in fact flat until proven otherwise. How are you gonna prove that when I have a flat experience? And that just unbeatable. It's just unbeatable. How are you gonna find a curve or motion? Detect any of that, please, before you debate me, right? I don't care what the shape of the Earth is. I care about my experience as a human being, which I will have while I am on Earth. I probably will never go to space and actually see the Earth as it is, but yeah, probably a lot of people want flat earthers to go to space so they actually experience a different way of the Earth. That would be cool, right? Everyone wants that to happen, but it's not happening. So why bother, right? No one's gonna go to space ever, I think, because we have a population of 7 billion. Which of us are gonna go to space? Probably none of us. In comparison, in scale, right? 7 billion of us is a lot. It's almost 8 billion, which is tremendous because, overpopulation is probably a problem, but who knows, right? We have so many problems that we can't just single out a single problem, right? But the problem about thinking is definitely there. And that's what I want to highlight, is that this flat experience is there, but people don't get it. But some people do get it, and they wake up and they're like, I have to tell this truth to everyone, right? Somehow. So those are great people. But for me, they still don't actually deliver the message exactly as I do. Right? There is a flat experience. No matter what you say about the Earth, you're not gonna change the fucking experience. So how do we translate this whole idea of flat experience into medication? Well, we just go back. Where is it? Never have I ever thought that a human being needs medication. We just go back to that. Alright? And we point it out one more time, because I have been amongst people who were locked in the psych ward, who were getting the medication, and maybe in very niche circumstances, very specific circumstances where people are very aggressive, or they're just not minding their own business. They're doing something very annoying, that they should be put down by the system. They should be handcuffed in medical ways, basically. Because, again, it's medication. It's meant to control you. It's meant to handcuff you in this mental way. So you stop hearing voices or whatever. You stop having a weird experience of life. Somehow that's supposed to work that way. But in reality, again, it's just a way to control you. To handcuff you. At best. At worst, it simply does not do anything. And we over-exaggerate the necessity for medicine in the first place. Again, this shit, saying medication is bullshit, they would handcuff me right now if they knew that I was saying that, and they would put me back into psych ward, basically. So anyone can just contact the authorities, be a good citizen basically, and show them this video, and then I'm probably gonna go back and never return basically. If you want to be this good fucking person, definitely give the system a heads up, and tell them that I'm a danger to society, right? I pushed an old woman. That is ridiculous, right? I might do it again at some point, because I may not have learned my lesson. I definitely learned my lesson, by the way. I definitely did. It took a year off. I did not expect that. Where did it come from, dude? But maybe I've learned a little bit more than they would have expected, right? All they did was try to intimidate me into being like, yeah, you're sick. But there's nothing actually telling me that I'm sick. There's nothing, right? There's nothing wrong with me going on. But somehow you're telling me I'm sick. What the fuck are you talking about? Right? That's the position of a doctor. And I had to sit through that. And I have learned that this doctor is actually a better doctor than some other doctors, right? It was a better one. It decided that I am free to go after 1 year. It could have decided otherwise and kept me forever. Forever, dude. As much as she wanted to. The doctor is off the hook. She could have done whatever she wanted, right? And that's the way it goes, right? You just be a law-abiding citizen. Don't say anything bad about anything the system does, because you're gonna be completely annihilated, completely destroyed. Now I am schizophrenic because I look at the reality a little bit differently than other people are. But what if I'm actually advanced? Not schizophrenic, advanced, right? Probably nobody will agree with me. Everyone wants to be a part of the system for some reason. Everyone is just evil because they have all the power all of a sudden. For some reason, right? It's just so weird. It is weird seeing people signing with the system. There are things that the system do, very, very amazing things, right? Computers, all the services that you get, the Internet of Things, they are amazing. I'm watching a bunch of magicians do magic tricks. All the way. Almost everyone is a magician out there, doing crazy things. And I appreciate almost everything. Alright, I wanted to go through YouTube and find these magicians and sit through their content. It's not easy sitting through content. I figured, right? But I'm doing it. I'm discovering people. And that's a great thing, I think. But then there is this one thing that just does not let go of me, right? Medication. I have to take it. Olanzapine only. I also take Cicladol, but again, this was meant to negate side effects of medication. I don't need it anymore. I don't feel side effects anymore. So I technically just take one piece of medication, which everyone takes basically. When I was in the hospital, I saw everyone take it. So it was just generic medicine that everyone takes. It's like, how absurd can you get at this point? You just invented something that everyone has to take on default. It's not catered specifically to me and my special illness, which doesn't exist, just generic medication. I think my mom takes it, right? It's super generic. And it's just to put me into the spot where, there's nothing not bullshit about it. Everything is bullshit. It's just there. The system does it, and when system does something, it doesn't question itself, right? It just does it. It just doesn't worry about. So the only way to beat the system is become a big change in the system, right? It's convincing the system that it has to change once and for all, basically. How am I going to do that? I am definitely powerless to do that. I don't even know why you're listening to me at this point. But it has to be done, right? This has to be said in many, many ways, in many, many times. And there's probably more things like that are bullshit about the system. Probably education is bullshit. Because now we can, again, like Elon Musk says himself, like Elon Musk, the most richest man on earth, says that you don't need a college degree to get a good job, right? No one should demand you a college degree because it does not tell whether a person is actually skilled or not, right? You develop skills by actually handling real problems. And definitely education can help you find those problems, but whether you are inside the system or not, there shouldn't be a big difference. There should be always a way to test someone's abilities and whatnot. But I think there is, right? I don't think there's anything to complain about. The real world just works very well. And what I call the real world is a little bit different than the system. The system is trying to do some wrong things, some good things, but it's the real world that determines what survives. The bad things die, the good things survive. If we're put in the challenge to use as least items as possible, we would throw away medicine as soon as possible, basically. Would be first out of the way. Alright? First. Because it's not necessary. I didn't see an effect. Maybe there are painkillers that are helpful. I still think it's not necessary. It's helpful to not feel pain. Pretty cool, right? But it's still medicine, right? It can still have side effects. Let's not forget about that. And that shit's scarier than any pain you can ever have, right? If the pain does not go away, would you really blame your body for it? What is there to blame? The best thing you can do is blame the system, and the system will give you the medicine. If it was a free choice, that would be nice. But the crazy thing is, oh yeah, what was that thing? Drugs are not available? The system does not like drugs. The system does not like when you medicate yourself in your own terms, basically. That's interesting. The drugs things is pretty confusing to me, right? Just like Mark Passio would put it, and he's not famous or anything, but there's no reason to regulate something that just goes into one's body. Does it really make people really dangerous after they do drugs or something? But the system really wants to protect you and everything. So there are psychedelics bunched up with other drugs, and they're all bunched up, and the system just wants to protect you and everything. So in a way, it's just not a very progressive thing to happen, that the system is against drugs and everything. It's very protective, and I stay away from all substances ever. I don't do alcohol. I don't smoke cigarettes, which there were tons of people smoking cigarettes. I can't believe it. You can't believe that the number of people that were in the psych ward were smoking cigarettes, almost like 80% or something. They really have problems. When you're talking about sick people, I can finally point a finger at these people and say, you're sick, you're smoking, this is ridiculous. What you're doing to your body is ridiculous. Right? You know it's bad for you. You have nothing better to do. That to me is exactly what people should be put into psych wards for smoking. You know, just like we put people for drugs, right? Too into jails. So might as well deal with smoking the same way. Maybe no. It's also harmful to you. So you have to acknowledge that somehow, Mr. System. But yeah, the system just is weak. It's probably just a young system. We don't have a very elaborate system that deals with things in a way that I can understand, in a way that there are no contradictions or hypocritical bullshit. But there is. And yeah, just smoking in general was such a big trouble to a lot of people. A lot of people had to borrow, basically, with no way to actually return the debt they would borrow from people. It's just so pathetic, and I had to live with that. And I would have been in one of those situations where people would try to borrow from me or try and steal cigarettes from me. It's just, I wouldn't be able to live in that world where I am a smoker too. I have no idea how these people fucking make it. But it's like is the same thing. Just it's not necessary for you, but you still do it. I can tell you, doctors fall into the same category of people. I think I saw my doctor smoke, which makes no fucking sense, right? Doctors not supposed to be smokers, but I think I saw it one time. The most amazing experience ever of seeing it. The doctor that I visit every month now, I saw him smoke. That's a very weird thing. Because you would not do that. You know the consequences, I hope. Yeah, Jesus Christ, dude. Watch the G Word with Adam Pano. I can't wait to actually review this show. I'm obviously gonna cheat and watch the season 1 somehow through the fucking 1, 2, 3 movies. We're gonna cheat, boys. Because Adam does incredible stuff. Eye-opening stuff, right? What the government does. There are plenty of ways to improve the government. I am sure about that. And again, this would be one of those things. It's just recognizing that medication is not necessary. There are not many cases where people are in pain and there is just happens to be a perfect pill to cure that pain. Right? But besides that, besides the magic of medicine. I did not see that ever. I did not. It did not occur to me that it's magical, right? It, as many things in the world are. Just to be able to actually make this video is magical to me, right? Computers are insanely amazing. But where's the magic in medicine? What is it supposed to do that makes it magical, right? I'm taking pills, there's something supposed to happen, right? Nothing? I get nothing? And it's still necessary? Right? It's fucking crazy. I mean, people should be put into psych wards if they're doctors. That the system should change a little bit, just doctor's not supposed to be the most top position in the world anymore. YouTuber should be the top position now. And very well paid too, I believe. While doctors should be the lowest, the scum of the earth, basically. They were the highest, but they should be the scum of the earth. Dethroned, basically. They should be for doing this sort of trickery. It's not magic, it's just trickery, right? The best argument of all is to tell me that I don't understand science or something. But it just doesn't seem logical to me, okay? Because there's so many illogical things, just like with flat Earth. The logic is grounded already. The ground is set. Earth is flat because we have a flat experience. So the logic is there already, and it's not being negated by anything that globe earthers do or say about it. But there's nobody saying anything. There's just one Professor Dave on the flat Earth busting mode. He just busts the flat Earth. Okay, he did a pretty good job, but I still am not convinced that my flat experience is all of a sudden round experience. I did not experience the curvature of the Earth. I'm sorry about that. But with the same logic applies here, right? If we're logically thinking, I was bunched up with a bunch of people who probably got bunched up as well by an accident, that experienced some weird things, perhaps, in their lives, that they said to the system about it. The system just caught them doing something bad, basically, and it decided that, well, you're mentally ill, and mentally ill people should be locked away for a long time, very long time. It's all illogical to me, obviously, because I was abused in a way, right? Yes, nothing bad happened to me, just like nothing bad happens in jail, right? Well, you lose so much, you don't realize what you've lost. But to me, it was an experience that I didn't lost too much. It was a little bit eye-opening. I even gained the rights to this video, and I stopped making rant videos, apparently. I don't know why did I stop, but it's probably a good idea to not do them, right? Or to do them sparingly. To talk about things that are really annoying to me, right? We can look back, but it's probably not worth to look into anymore. What did I did before? Riverfall. What is that? TikTok. Miley Cyrus is a doomsayer. Some weird shit, dude. I I would just do rants because I was doing rants at this point. I have no idea what was I thinking. Definitely a new format. The way that I make videos now is definitely way better, because now all I'm trying to do is just entertain myself. Being on Earth is not a very easy experience when things get boring, so I'm trying to avoid that, right? I'm trying to combat boredom. And yeah, I had to look through so many YouTube channels already, and I still have empty subscription box. It's pretty much empty. All I watch is Hearthstone, and Hearthstone is kind of getting to me already, but it's not boring still for some reason. Hearthstone is just that kind of game that it keeps on delivering, and it delivers a lot. It's almost frustrating trying to figure out how is it the perfect game that you would play forever at this point. I don't think there is a better game than Hearthstone. Even Skyrim can't compete. Okay, Skyrim tried to compete. Elder Scrolls Legends was a game, but they decided not to release any new updates to that game very quickly, considerably. They did a few releases and that's it. They probably ran out of ideas. That's how fucking crazy this market is at this point. Hearthstone is trying to do almost anything at this point. Anything fresh and new, and they still can do it. To this day, after so many years, they can still deliver new things. I'm surprised, dude. That is very surprising to me. You cannot get this sort of experience in shooting games or in MOBA games. I don't think so. You build a deck of any kind. You play the deck out with so many effects that the cards have, with so many combinations, so many OTKs you can do, that there's an entire channel dedicated to one-turn kills, dealing 30 damage to your opponent in one turn. There's an entire channel of that dedicated to different ways you can do that. Hearthstone is just huge. It is ridiculous. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. There's still a problem. We have to prove that medication is bullshit in as many ways as possible. And talking about Hearthstone is not going to help me. But it's still, again, a magical experience that I know is magic. And could probably be prescribed to people as medication. You know, the system could, once and for all, update itself and recognize that computers can probably do better medication than the pills themselves, you know. The pill maybe help you to sleep better, but computer helps you to entertain better, which is way better, okay? Alright, computers do it way better than pills. And that's what has to change. Pills have been for a long time a thing, but it's a thing that has to die, right? Immediately. Now that it's an old thing, it has to die immediately. As fast as possible. We have to get rid of it. Because there's so many ways to improve someone's life just by giving them a computer, something to do, something to play with. Just give them a fucking tablet. If everyone had a tablet in the psych ward, there wouldn't be a bad day there. It would be a fucking heaven to be in, because you get food delivered to you. You don't have to worry about food. You can just worry about the games that everyone is playing, right? Everyone around you just playing games. So you can make friends easily that way, because now you're doing some kind of activity together. You can make maybe even really good friends. It depends, right? It's kind of a hard thing to recognize what friendship even is. To me, that's difficult, to be honest. What is friendship? Friendship supposed to be friends supposed to be always around and always. What if I just find someone on the internet that's friendly? I can be friends with them. Yeah, for a split second while we're arguing together with each other, we're technically friends. We're not harming each other in any way. Or we are. Yes, I do agree that there are ways to harm someone with words. So I tend to not do that. I tend to not call people names or anything. I try to stay as neutral as possible without taking a position of abuser who says all sorts of bad things, or you're mentally ill or something. But if someone says it to me, that just immediately, I ban them in my head. If anything, I never ban a person, but I like to ban people in my head. If they say something stupid to me, that I'm mentally ill, to me that's stupid. I just like with all the doctors out there who would decide that I'm mentally ill, I would ban them. They're not existent anymore. They're losers, right? They came down so low as to tell me that I'm mentally ill because that's the only way they can attack me anymore, right? That's the only weapon they found of all the things you can choose from. Is the only you found a direct damage weapon, a way to cheat the system basically. And you are now a cheater after saying you're mentally ill. That's all it takes, dude. And this happened to me. I was playing Hearthstone and immediately a person decided to just call me out. You're a danger to society. It's ridiculous. It's almost like he knew the blueprint of how to annoy a person, of how trash a person. He just knew the blueprint of the system. You are a danger to society. It's the greatest thing that I've learned. Is the thing that I laughed my ass off when I first fucking read it, but it was a statement, right? A statement from court. A court statement that said I am danger to society. That is annoying as fuck to receive as a message, right? And somehow that is fixed through, a bunch of doctors and a bunch of pills, right? It's all fixed, dude. It's totally fixed. It's totally under control, The only thing that is under control is the fact that if I do anything wrong, I get completely destroyed by court. Easily, right? I must do nothing wrong while I'm at this. But even then, something like this can come out that I don't 100% believe in medicine, and that still might be good enough case for me to be locked up anyways. But I don't think that will ever happen, so screw that. We have reached G. We're gonna reach F. Wow. Cool. But again, just one step backwards. You are a cheater. You are banned from mentally. I mentally banned you. Alright? I'm mentally ill? Yeah. You would love to believe that when I ban you. You would love to believe I'm the bad guy. is the greatest thing of all, right? So stupid to say I started when you did it too. See, the coolest thing about the Hearthstone game that I played, I started emoting the other player and they started emoting me back. And this went back and forth a bunch of times. When I started to emote, just spam the emote, and I got the same response. Who started it? I started it, definitely. But they kind of took the bait. They started the whole fucking weird thing where we went back and forth. I wouldn't be being able to do it, right, if he didn't actually do it the same way. So he started to respond to me. But you can say I started it, and I'm the mastermind of the whole thing, right? But still, you did it as well. And it's a weird thing, right? It's just emoting, saying hi, hi there, greetings, back and forth a bunch of times. It's weird. But it got weirder than that because, yeah, I get that person to say you're mentally ill at some point. They have disqualified themselves from actually beating the game of chat, of like, we're all crazy in some ways. We don't have to call each other out for it, you know. I know I'm kind of mentally ill in a way, in some inconceivable fashion, just like everyone is. But you don't have to call them out for it because you're not capable of calling out someone. You're nobody. You're just someone on the internet. You could choose to be nice to someone, or you could choose to be an absolute idiot. And people actually choose to be idiots, right? To bring out a negative experience to someone on the internet. You don't know them. You're not gonna do much of a deal with that. You're not gonna get anything positive from that. You're just being an idiot. You're just making a wrong move. You could have a positive experience out of it, which I always do. Even if someone is calling me mentally ill, I can make a video about it. And congratulations, well, now you're part of my video. I hope you like it. It was weird. It was a weird interaction, but I love it, right? Every single interaction that I have in life, it's pretty good because I'm in this mentality that you cannot push me down. You cannot trash talk me. You can't do that. That's not allowed in life because it just makes you an idiot. And it makes you a really big idiot if you just keep on doing that and not change your mind ever. Like, it's so weird that people would do that. It's so easy now, right? Now it's easy for anyone to say I'm mentally ill because they know I'm taking medication. They can abuse this whole thing can be abused. But at the same time, you have no idea what you're talking about. I'm the one experiencing the whole thing, and you have no idea what you're talking about. You're just jumping on an opportunity. You're being an opportunist, which is, again, you're being a cheater. There's always opportunity to kill someone and get away with murder. Would you actually do it, though? Right? That's the question. Would you do it, though? Oh, if you killed a person and you could get away with that, would you do it? It's an opportunity. That's what's opportunity Opportunityism. Fucking weird. Is weird. Is weird. Don't do it, okay? Don't do that. Taking the first opportunity that comes to your head as a way to win the battle is probably always going to be a wrong choice. You know, just taking the opportunity of like the craziest thing that in real life happens is people build up muscle. They become buffed up, jacked up, right? For a mountain full of muscles. And now you can boss people around because they're afraid of being hurt. That's being opportunity taking, right? Right there, you took an opportunity to become the greatest bully of all time. To become a mountain of muscles that intimidates people. And still, who knows how much you can get away with, because, you know, who knows how much power the system has to stop you from bullying people at this point. But there's probably a lot of power on that. Probably police will hate you. Will stop you from doing crazy shit. So, yeah, just, and it's an idiotic thing, taking the first opportunities like that comes to your mind, because you had to sacrifice your entire life to become a bully, to become this jacked up person. You sacrificed so much time and effort into becoming that, but what's the point in the end? You wanted to become a bully this badly? This is what your life purpose was about? The cool part is that, you know, no one is really a winner in the game of life. That's probably true because, you know, innocent people get killed. Are they losers because they got killed? Well, that's crazy to think about it that way. There are no losers or winners. Hopefully. Right? No one goes to hell or heaven. They go to a place where they like wanted to be in the first place. Right? If you're a bully, you want to be in hell to see other people suffer. Right? And to make them suffer. And you wouldn't realize that you are suffering too because you're in hell. No one's gonna tell you that. You know, they want to see you suffer without realizing that you're suffering until you wake up and then, wow, you're in hell basically. So there are winners and losers. That's the craziest thing. There is hell and heaven. And heaven is for the winners, hell is for the losers. Right? Whether you realize it or not. And that's the first rule of heaven. Do not take opportunities, which sounds super weird, but just don't take opportunities that don't seem fair. Alright? Be as fair as possible. This is the way to win in life, I think. We're an hour into this, and hopefully we're gonna get somewhere. I love when I sit down and I do this mental work, I can actually find something interesting that I happen to say or thought out. Because this is, you know, I put this as a starting point and we go with it. I don't know where it goes, but I'm gonna call out the doctors. I'm gonna call out that the idea that they're assholes. They're putting people in prison for no good reason. It's like, if you don't take medication, We're gonna put you back into prison, in the psych ward, back into there, because you're not following rules, dude. That's the scary part, all right? That's the scary part about medicine. And I'm saying, this is not as important. It shouldn't be this important that you put me into prison for not taking medicine. But at the same time, if you really think medicine is so important, I will submit. I have no choice. I simply have to submit. Alright? It's overrated, but I have no choice. I have to take it. If I had a choice, I would. It's the first thing that I cut off. It's like, every day I have to remember to take medicine. I have to remember. It's actually really difficult. Alright? 3 times a day I take it. And it's really difficult to keep it in mind, to keep reminding myself, well, I need to kind of do this. I kind of supposed to not cheat on that one. I can still cheat a little bit without people finding out, because no one is actually checking whether I'm taking medicine or not. The only thing that they can check is whether I take medicine with me from the, pharmaceutical, how do you even call that? Pharmacy? Is that a good word? So, pharmacy, yeah, okay. For some reason I thought it was pharmacy, which is something related to farms. Farming, yeah, weird. Okay, so I don't mind it too much. I just think it's fucking stupid to put people, lock people up simply because they don't take medicine. But at the same time, it's just so easy that, yes, I guess I can agree to it. I don't care, right? It's not the biggest thing in my life. Anyways, I could easily get away with not making this video, right? But something tells me that this is important, that this is bullshit, that doctors are doing terrible job. Sometimes you need a special operation done, and doctors can do justice to it, right? Some very niche situations, very specific situations where doctors succeed. But I have no idea what just happened. Why are doctors so overrated too? It is the doctors that overrated. This is what I'm submitting to. And medicine just happens to be a byproduct of everything doctors agree upon for some reason. Everything is just chemicals in your head. If you balance those chemicals in your head, everything solves. Everything is solved now. All the problems are because of chemical imbalance. That's what I imagine them to say. But is it true though? The craziest thing about it is, like, my brain can come up with anything anytime. My brain deals with chemical imbalance all the time, if that's the case, right? Because it manages itself. It's so weird. Because when you come up with all kinds of thoughts, all kinds of things to do throughout the day. You manage your own life using your brain. And you take all the responsibility for it, don't you? Right? So saying that there's some kind of chemical imbalance negates your responsibility. It says that, well, there's something wrong with you, that you have no ability to really change it. The best thing to do is take medicine for it. But that's weird because your brain comes up with so many things. It just happens. So why is it chemical imbalance though? It's just weird. At the same time, how long have we been living on Earth? And for a long time we didn't need medicine or prison psych wards for that matter. This has to be like a new creation in human history, right? Like 100, 200 years old at maximum. But at the same time, the system loves telling people that they're weird in some ways. They're toxic in some ways. The system would love to stop people from being annoying, right? Just like the witch hunts. Or, the system hates flat earthers, too. I kind of hate that it hates us, It hates us. Why would you do that? Why would you silence people? Are we really that important to be silenced? Because it's not because we're not being silenced because we're stupid, right? No, we're being silenced because we're making good points and we're influential, right? It's the influence that being silenced. And you can't really silence that. There's always going to be other platforms that we can go to and spread our words. It's just kind of annoying that YouTube would silence people. The truthers. The conspiracy theorists. We're being silenced. It's a little bit unfair. You can say, is the same thing happening, basically? Where I said, that's the thing. It's like people in charge of YouTube taking an opportunity. They shouldn't be doing this because it's unfair, but they've taken an opportunity to silence people just to make them look better, right? YouTube looks a lot better when there's no flat earth bullshit going around, right? Trying to convince people that earth is flat, There's no bullshit going on. So they're taking an opportunity to clean up their content in a way. And that's another thing, when the system believes in something, it believes it so damn hard, it makes it impossible for people to survive, basically, trying to oppose the system. You kind of have to just roll with it at this point. And it's like, yeah, flat earth is totally silenced, but you can still support channels that still exist, and hopefully they will not be deleted. You can still support. It's still hard to say that because, if they silence, they show an intention to completely destroy this opposing side, which is supposed to be a fair debate of what people think is true. A fair debate, which is a little bit unfair because we're the ones supposed to be winning this debate, right? The earth has a flat experience. We win this debate by default. There's nothing you can say or do to negate that. But somehow we still lose. The system hates us. And the same goes with my topic. Alright? People would love to silence me because that just adds more power to the system. It allows this name calling and trashing of people, of anyone you like at this point, at any point in their life, if they admit to like hearing voices or something, they're doomed basically. So you can convince people to do just that, to admit that one time in their life they had some weird thing happen. And if they do anything wrong, they're gonna go to those mental hospitals. It's just so crazy. Yeah, the system is so fucking weird and annoying. It's almost like what's the point of arguing when we know for sure that it's bullshit. We know for sure. Just like the Earth has a flat experience, I have a full, great experience of life without medicine. I did not need it ever. Why do I need it now all of a sudden? Just because I pushed an old woman? What's the logic behind that? You know? Yeah, I chose. I did a wrong thing. I chose really wrong. But that doesn't make me mentally ill. That just makes me a bad person. Alright? For what I did. But somehow they still found it, you know? The fact that I was hospitalized at one point just for saying that I heard voices. Just that one thing snowballs into this insanity, basically. The moment I do something wrong, I am imprisoned for 1 year, and there's nothing you can do about it. And lucky ones, very lucky people, get imprisoned for half a year. That's just if you're very lucky. For a year, boys. That's technically how they handle things, right? They definitely care about your mental health and that you're ready to face life, and definitely drink your medicine. You're definitely ready to do that, because that's the most important thing, you know, you're supposed to be doing. That's the thing that you have been doing. Everyone just lines up to take their medicine as the creepiest thing ever. When you're inside, standing on a line, waiting to get your medicine, it's just so stupid, robotic bullshit. It's like a zombie line to get the newest iPhone. I can understand the newest iPhone, making a line on that one, but making a line to get medicine, that's made up. You know, that's the thing. It's made up. The system wants us to do it. But should we do it? Yes, we should be doing it because the system really wants it for some reason. But is there any benefit to it? Is there going to be any change to it? Can't I just control brain imbalances other ways, like through changing the way that I think about things? You know, the system will not try and do that. That's probably the fun part about the system, right? Why argue with people when you can win the argument by just forcing things onto people, you know? I guess government is slavery because it forces people to believe certain things for no apparent reason. We believe that medicine is good for you because system forces you to believe that. There's no reason to believe it otherwise. And yes, I would love to be educated. I would love to find a YouTube channel that I can watch right now that explains all the ways that I'm wrong about this stuff. I would love to find that. But at the same time, I'm having this flat experience, an experience about medicine that is just obvious to me. It's just obvious. You're taking pills that do nothing or do something insignificant. something that you can live without, right? Something that really shouldn't be necessary for you. But for some reason it is. And I have to make a video about it. Because it is, to me, it is something that I have to do. It's the worst thing of all is like, if there's any kind of positive change, they will blame the medicine for it, you know? That's probably the most annoying part of all of this. Medicine takes all the credit. It's like, what does it do? It doesn't do a fucking jack shit. And for some reason, I talked to a doctor and it's like, you're actually getting better now. You understand things better. Yeah. And that's probably because of medicine that I give you. Yeah, of course. That's the shit that I get from the doctor. It's the most annoying thing. It's like, what does it do though? Right? Does it actually perform that kind of magic? Does it change my mind about reality? Does it fix it? It doesn't even argue with me. The system hates arguing with me. And all of a sudden it wins the arguments. And it takes all the credit for any time I change my mind about something. It's the worst. That is the worst. Maybe not all the credit. Maybe doctors do acknowledge something that you do have free will, basically. But yeah, this is so stupid. The system hates free will, obviously. Hates when people argue against the system, obviously. Because the system wants to control everything. Everything has to be in place. Everything has to be safe and secure. No one should be against the system of any... damn. But it's understandable. I can understand up to this point. And I can understand that there's gonna be wormholes that I will have to travel to experience some bullshit in my life. So I can call it out as bullshit and continue on, with my life. Hopefully someone listens to that and says, yeah, that's bullshit. Simple as that. And people who take opportunity to side with the system and say to me that I'm mentally ill or something, or anyone else for that matter, if you being called mentally ill, you should win that argument. You are the winner at that point. Someone calls you sexist, you win. Someone calls you racist, you win. Who cares if you are racist, right? Wait, we're getting into dark territory all of a sudden. Wait, is that racist? First of all, you should be able to talk about anything ever, right? That's the free speech about. You shouldn't be able to flame someone. You can say, I hate someone, but you shouldn't just say, they're mentally ill. You shouldn't be able to say that easily, right? Without repercussions. Like, you think they're mentally ill, okay, we're gonna test you if you're not mentally ill, right? That's the best thing to do in this situation. It's like the Amber Heard moment, basically, of she's accusing Johnny Depp of many, many things, but maybe it turns around and all this accusation just happens to, be so much bullshit that you try to put on another person. You cannot beat your own test of what mentally ill means to you, right? Please, now that you said someone is mentally ill, please test what means mentally ill, and if you are exempted from that, right? If you're not exempted from that, if you are also mentally ill, you either found a friend or you are an idiot, basically, who has failed the test of their lifetime, basically. Who now can be called mentally ill for real. Because they failed the test, man. Their own test. The test that it's just so weird. So annoying. So yeah, I mean, doctors really love telling me that I'm mentally ill, but I kind of got angry at one point, and I was like, what if you're mentally ill? I was at that point. I almost told the doctor exactly that. What if you're mentally ill? What if you're wrong, you know? And everything turns all the way around you. And it almost did, you know? At that point, I believed it 100%. I'm not in the wrong here. Someone is just taking an opportunity. They are the doctor, so they can tell whatever they want. They can come up with whatever they want. They got the opportunity handed by the system. The system can do whatever they want to people as long as they oppress us, you know, and take our rights away to defend ourselves. If I cannot do that, if I cannot defend myself against the system, that's it, you know. I'm glad I'm still free, alright? I'm glad I have freedom, and I will value that freedom a lot, but holy shit. There's gonna be a lot of people who will take an opportunity against me. Probably. And I will hate those people, dude. It will still happen. Taking an opportunity is an easy way to short-term victory, but a long-term defeat. An absolute defeat in long term. That's what you're trying to avoid. That's what makes you an idiot, right? If you just short-term pleasures and win over long-term logic of everything, right? I think everything is said and done. I think the video should be over. I don't want it to make it too long or anything. I had to do it. I had to take it off my chest, right? There were people, again, locked up for a year because they didn't take medication, because COVID crisis was was a problem, and people just couldn't simply get the medication they needed. They couldn't get it. So what? You know, like, yikes. And you imprison people for that for a year because they couldn't get the medication? That's how important medication is to you? This system, you imprison people for that? All I'm saying is, system, you have to chill out. And medication is not as important as you think it is. You have to chill out. Medication is not going to turn a psycho into a butterfly. It's not going to happen. The bad people are going to do bad things regardless. It just, you can't stop. You cannot fix that kind of chemical imbalance. There's no such magic. I have not witnessed that yet. I was in a psych ward with plenty of psychos. They were not fixed. You can't fix that kind of behavior. It's like saying that a slow person, alright, I can't call them retard anymore, can I? But a slow person is going to be somehow faster with medicine. Or it doesn't happen. This magic did not occur to me at all. I don't see medicine as this magical pill that improves your performance in some fucking fashion. Maybe in bed, you want to take Viagra, guys? That's the magical pill. That's the medicine that you take, Viagra. Maybe that works for you. I never tried it. I don't do drugs. I don't take substances in the first place. That's kind of the most frustrating part, is like I'm forced to take a substance that I don't give a fuck about. It's like if someone forced me to drink for some reason, well, it helps you, you know. You're mentally ill. You need to drink, and that will fix your chemical imbalance. Someone can say that, but that doesn't make it true. I think it's really, really interesting. Arguing is so interesting. Why system doesn't want it? You know, for me, arguing is so fucking. Why is the system so shy of flat Earth? Why is flat Earth all of a sudden banned? You know, from getting a fair ground on YouTube. Why is it so, right? Why the system fucking hates arguing and goes its own way, right? And does its own thing without, you know, doing what's fair. And again, arguing is so interesting. It shouldn't be the case right now. We should love arguing because that's the way we change people's minds, and that's the actual thing that changes people's chemical imbalance. Is good arguments, is a good story. Change people's minds. That's the way that you beat mental illness. There's no other way. And then, I don't disagree that there are illnesses out there. Yes, perhaps. I can't disagree with that. I know some people are disabled. I know that much. I can't argue. We had Corona crisis. The Corona crisis gave me a reason to rant about Corona for tons and tons of time. And there are while I was in hospital, I couldn't make rant videos. Go figure. But it definitely was a fucking clown fiesta. Coronavirus was just the most amazing bullshit ever. So much bullshit. Oh no, people are dying from a disease. People die from all sorts of things. From old age. People do that. Right? And we're not freaking out about it. But people die from a disease though. Oh no. There's a few deaths. Maybe it's come from coronavirus. Maybe. I think the biggest death, the worst death, is not having enough good life. Not living life to the fullest. That's the worst death that can happen, right? So if we suppress people and we put masks on people, and it really cripples our ability to actually live a good life, right? To some degree, having some kind of crisis is a way to live life, yes. That was cool while it lasted, I guess. It's a cool crisis, guys, right? As long as it doesn't last too long. Yeah, that's a joke for some reason. But yeah, if there are some things that cripple people from having a good life, then that's the worst death. You don't want to suffer that. That's real suffering right there. And and medicine is one of those things, you know, that make people suffer more than it actually heals. That's the way I see it, right? Because, again, it attacked me. It made me actually mentally ill. and it really drove me crazy. That state of mind that I somehow slip into, it would happen late at the evening, but it would ruin my entire rest of the day. I couldn't do anything. All the thought processes are out of the door, because I would glitch out basically. I would care about tiniest things. Oh, these O's, these have holes in them. The D has a hole in it. G has 2 holes. Holy shit. I would care about tiny bullshit things. I couldn't concentrate anymore. Again, we're going back to the first points that I made. My health worsened. I had evil thoughts, but it was because injections. Alright? Because of medicine. I was worse than normal. I was normal all the way up to the point when I get that fucking injection bullshit. And if people... I mean, who knows what kind of side effects people get, dude? Who knows? It's really a bad deal. Maybe it's just me, guys. Maybe I'm the only fucking snowflake with a side effect, right? It just happened to happen this way. But holy shit, it's over. I'm glad it's over. It's not happening anymore. I still have a reminder of taking four pills for that. There's like, wait. So I took 4 pills. There's like 3 times 10. 30 pills in total. I only took 4. It's not the necessary one. It's completely different clonazepam or something. To combat this when it actually happens, so it didn't happen anymore. The stupid anxiety thing. I call it anxiety attack or whatever. It didn't happen. It's over. But yeah, maybe we had the same kind of talk, right, when coronavirus was happening, that vaccines could ruin your health, that medicine could ruin your health potentially, and people are scared jack shit about that, you know? That was the argument. And the system hates people arguing, right? For some reason. Why is it so bad that people have a free choice? Oh no, you shouldn't have a free choice because it actually tramples on other people's freedoms when you have a free... I don't think so. I still think freedom is fine. Yeah, it's the same topic that now happens to be abortion, right? Should you have a free choice? I say yes to freedom. Yes, you should be able to kill the baby when it's yours. It's literally a part of you. You know? You're just killing a part of you. When it's an actual baby, then it gets a little bit fucking weird. Because now it's born. It's like survived 9 months of creation. Killing it's probably a not good idea because so many people survived already. There's 8 billion of us. One more person, not a big problem for the system, right? So yeah, I'm kind of pro-choice in this point. I'm pro-choice on whether to vaccinate yourself or not, and I'm pro-choice on fucking abortion. I'm pro-choice whether you want to be gay or not. That's a choice. Hopefully, people understand it. That's a fucking choice. Just the same way I'm pro-choice to whether you like medicine or not. To me, medicine did nothing. There were no magical fucking pills that I took the doctor was like, hey, you want to experience what medicine really is about, you know? The real differences you're gonna feel when you take this pill, this is what you're gonna feel. There was none of that, you know? There was no roller coaster ride to what medicine is. No, it's just, you're gonna drink this kind of medicine for the rest of your life. Congratulations, you got fucked in the ass. Yeah, that's my life. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm pro-choice of making videos like these. I really want to be able to do that. I'm pro-choice to be YouTube CEO one day. Yeah, because I don't know, man. I don't know how many jokes I can cram into this pro-choice thing. But it fixes everything. This is just one thing that I can call myself pro-choice. We want more choice, as long as we can handle it mentally, all the choices that we have. Sometimes I have to say to people, there are no better games than Hearthstone. I don't have a choice, guys, when I say that. Are there any better games than Hearthstone? Please tell me, because I can't find it while I'm playing Hearthstone right now. I just can't look for games. I'm occupied with Hearthstone. Can someone please help me? You know, I'm pro-choice and everything, but sometimes there's the best game ever and I can't stop playing it, and I don't have a choice. So, that's that. If there's ever a medicine, you know, I will say to everyone, you have to play Hearthstone for the rest of your life. That's the only choice you have. Guys, you don't agree with me? I'm not interested in arguing. I'm the system. That's what I would love to say. Damn to these people. The same person that said you're mentally ill on Hearthstone, same person also said you shouldn't be playing Hearthstone anymore. And I totally disagree. That's that one game that will be on top of the leaderboard. Where is it right now? It's somewhere very high. Dr. 7, boys. It has 5,000 right now. 5,000. So it's at 4th spot. Number 4. Super important. But doesn't beat Ariana Grande or Selena Gomez. But yeah, it's pretty important already. Disgusting. A game. But yeah, just it proves to me, I really wanted to say that in some video of mine. Gaming is kind of better than watching YouTube videos. Alright? I have to say it out loud. Gaming is kind of better than watching YouTube videos. You're trying to entertain yourself. What is best entertainment than exploring an entire new world? Now that's fucking cool. Alright, Skyrim is amazing. Explore a world. Cast spells. Learn greater spells. Kill some dudes who cannot handle your magic powers. Wow. Or just craft a sword. Kill things with your sword. Dodge attacks from enemies, because they are very strong on high difficulty. Curse yourself for playing too high of a difficulty. It makes no fucking sense. Why would you torture yourself like that? Realize that the game is broken. So many things you can do in Skyrim. Yeah. Anyways, that should be the end. I hope you guys are pro-choice too. But for some reason chose to watch this video as a whole. Congratulations. I don't know. I don't know what you get for doing that. You get my seal of approval for doing that. We should be happy about that. You should say something in home chat, please. Don't let Geoff be alone here. She tried He house everyone. That says a lot. What is that? This is a pop-up kitty. Pretty cool. Alright. Pretty cool. Alright, see you guys next time. If I come up with some crazy ideas, I will do another rant video, but these gonna be rare. Very rare. See you guys next time. Pro choice, boys.